Are you one of those people who wake up once, twice, sometimes 3 times a night to urinate? If yes, stay tuned until the end, because what you're about to discover can literally transform your sleep and your health. I am Dr. Hillman, and today I will explain something that many people are unaware of. Many think that waking up at night to urinate is normal with age, but no, it's not an inevitability. It's actually a warning signal that your body is trying to send you. The medical term is nicturia, the act of waking up at least once a night to urinate. And believe me, this seemingly trivial inconvenience has profound consequences on your sleep, your energy, and even your heart. Every awakening cuts into your deep sleep, that crucial phase where your body regenerates, produces hormones like melatonin and growth hormone, and where your brain clears out toxins accumulated during the day. When these cycles are interrupted, your entire metabolism gets out of whack. A Japanese study conducted on over 1,200 people aged over 60 showed that those who woke up 2 or more times per night had a 40% higher risk of daytime drowsiness, chronic fatigue, and mild cognitive impairments. This is far from trivial. And that's not all. Getting up halfway through the night while still half asleep is not only inconvenient, but also dangerous, especially with age. When your brain is still foggy from sleep, your reflexes are slower, your blood pressure is lower, and your balance is more fragile. The result? The risk of falls skyrockets. And a simple nighttime fall can have serious consequences. Hip fracture, wrist fracture, loss of independence. Sometimes it's this kind of accident that completely changes your quality of life, and all of this simply because your body can no longer regulate urine production properly during the night. But why does this happen? Well, it's much more subtle than we think. When we are young, our brain produces a magical hormone called vasopressin. This hormone acts as a nighttime brake. It tells your kidneys to slow down urine production during sleep. Thanks to it, you can sleep all night without needing to go to the bathroom. But over time, the natural production of vasopressin gradually decreases. Result: your kidneys continue to function as if it were daytime, and your bladder fills up faster. And like any muscle in the body, the bladder also ages. She gradually loses her flexibility and retention capacity. In other words, she becomes more nervous. Even when she is only half full, she already sends an emergency signal to your brain. Result: you wake up, sometimes for very little reasons. And each time, your deep sleep is interrupted, your circadian rhythm is disrupted, and the next day you feel that persistent fatigue. It's a real vicious cycle. But there is another factor that is rarely discussed. During the day, especially if you remain seated or standing for a long time, gravity pulls fluids down to the lower parts of your body. Your legs and ankles may swell slightly. It's not just fatigue, it's water trapped in the tissues. And when you lie down at night, all this fluid moves back into the bloodstream, passes through the kidneys, and ends up in the bladder. Result: your body starts producing urine again, even if you haven't drunk anything before going to bed. And as if that wasn't enough, there is a third, even more common factor: unbalanced hydration. Many people, thinking they are doing the right thing, hardly drink anything during the day, then say to themselves, "Come on, I'll make up for it tonight." The result? The body is faced with a massive influx of water to process just before night. And of course, it has to eliminate it. So you wake up once, twice, 3 times. But the good news is that there is a natural, simple, scientifically validated method to fix all this. No need for medication or invasive treatment. In reality, it all starts with better synchronization between your hydration, your diet, and your sleep rhythm. Your body functions like a clock. When you give it the right signals, it naturally regains its balance. This is exactly what I am going to show you now. Comment rééquilibrer votre hydratation tout au long de la journée pour que votre vessie reste calme la nuit. Common mistakes that worsen nicturia without you realizing it, and how to help your body restore its natural nocturnal rhythm, so you can finally sleep through the night without interruption. Remember, tout ce que je partage ici est à des fins d'information et ne remplace pas les conseils médicaux. Mais si vous appliquez ces simples conseils, votre corps commencera à se rééquilibrer. And in just a few days, you can already reduce the frequency of nighttime awakenings and regain deeper, more stable, more restorative sleep. Because good sleep is not a luxury. It is the foundation of your energy, your memory, and your longevity. When your body is dehydrated, your urine becomes more concentrated, more acidic, and eventually irritates the wall of your bladder. Result? It contracts more often, even when it is not full. A study conducted in Sweden on more than 900 adults showed that people who drank less than 1.5 liters of water per day had a 30% higher risk of nocturnal enuresis, simply because their urine was too concentrated. Incredible, isn't it? In other words, drinking enough during the day helps you sleep better at night. Mistake number 2, believing that the problem comes from a small bladder. Many people say to themselves, "I wake up at night because I have a small bladder." But in reality, in more than 80% of cases, it's not the size of the bladder that's at fault. It's the amount of urine produced during the night. In other words, it's not your bladder that malfunctions. It's your entire body that can no longer regulate the rhythm of urine production between day and night. And this nocturnal overproduction is no coincidence. It is very often a reflection of lifestyle habits that can be corrected. First, hydration. If you drink very little during the day, your body enters a dryness mode. It retains water, concentrates urine, and as soon as you rehydrate in the evening, your kidneys go into overdrive. Result: massive urine production at a time when you should be sleeping. Next, diet. Some foods promote water retention during the day. Salt, processed foods, ready-made sauces, and at night, your body tries to eliminate this excess. It's a cycle you can break simply by adjusting your plate. And finally, hormones. With age, the production of certain hormones becomes unbalanced, notably vasopressin, also called anti-diuretic hormone. It normally sends a message to your kidneys to tell them, "It's nighttime, slow down urine production." But when your secretion decreases, your kidneys continue to function as if it were broad daylight. And your bladder, even if perfectly normal, fills up too quickly. Many people confuse an overactive bladder with nocturnal hormonal imbalance. However, they are two completely different things. The good news is that in most cases, you can take action without medication by better regulating your hydration, by reducing stimulants and salt, and by adopting an evening routine that helps your body regain its natural rhythm. You see, the problem is not the size of your bladder, but rather how your body manages water and its internal signals during the night. And that's exactly what we will correct together in the following. Error number 3. Consuming caffeine and alcohol in the evening. Oh yes, I know. The small glass of wine to relax after dinner, or a hot drink with a bit of chocolate, is an almost sacred ritual for many. But physiologically, it's a real disaster for your sleep. Let's start with alcohol. When you consume it in the evening, even in small amounts, it blocks the action of a key hormone, ADH, also called anti-diuretic hormone. This hormone normally tells your kidneys to slow down urine production during the night. It's what allows you to sleep without waking up every 2 hours. But when alcohol circulates in your blood, it disables this natural mechanism. Result? Your kidneys continue to filter at full speed, your body produces much more urine, and your bladder fills up faster. You might think, yes, but alcohol helps me fall asleep. And that's true, in the first few minutes. Alcohol acts as a sedative, giving you an impression of relaxation and quick sleep onset. But this sleep is deceptive, because it profoundly disrupts the natural sleep structure. You spend less time in deep sleep and more in light or restless sleep. You wake up more often, sometimes without realizing it, and in the morning, you feel drained, as if you hardly slept, and caffeine makes it even worse. It is a powerful stimulant and a natural diuretic. It acts directly on the kidneys to increase urine production, but most importantly, it blocks an essential molecule for sleep, adenosine. Adenosine is the neurotransmitter that naturally makes you want to sleep as the day progresses. Caffeine, on the other hand, opposes this. It prevents your brain from receiving the fatigue signal. As a result, you may appear to fall asleep, but your brain remains active, somewhat like a standby computer that never truly turns off, and just because you're used to coffee doesn't mean you're immune. Even if you no longer feel the effects of excitement, caffeine remains active in your body for 5 to 6 hours, sometimes longer depending on your metabolism. In other words, the coffee from dinner, or even the one consumed at 5 p.m., continues to disrupt your sleep until late at night. And beware, caffeine is not only found in coffee, it is also present in black tea, green tea, chocolate, cola-based sodas, energy drinks, and even in some so-called stimulating herbal teas. To give you an idea, a cup of coffee, approximately 80 to 100 milligrams of caffeine, black tea, 40 to 60 milligrams, a square of dark chocolate, 20 milligrams, and all of this adds up throughout the day. So what to do? If you want to preserve your sleep, avoid caffeine after 3 heures de l'après-midi, and limit alcohol, especially in the evening. If you want a relaxing ritual, prefer an herbal tea without caffeine or a glass of warm water with honey and lemon. Your body will thank you, and so will your bladder. Remember, la qualité de votre sommeil dépend tout autant de ce que vous faites avant de dormir que de ce que vous faites pendant la journée. Un seul café ou un verre de vin pris trop tard peut être suffisant pour désynchroniser votre horloge interne et vous forcer à vous réveiller plusieurs fois pendant la nuit. So, do the test for a week, replace your evening glass with a gentle, caffeine-free drink, and observe your sleep. You will see how quickly your body regains its natural balance. Erreur numéro 4. Boire trop d'eau avant d'aller dormir. C'est un réflexe presque universel. Avant d'aller se coucher, beaucoup de gens prennent un grand verre d'eau avec leurs médicaments ou un thé à la menthe chaude pour se détendre. Et pourtant, ce geste apparemment inoffensif est l'une des causes les plus courantes de la nuit awakenings. Why? Because the water you drink does not disappear immediately. It has to go through a long circuit before being eliminated. It first passes through your stomach, then your intestines, enters your bloodstream, then reaches your kidneys, where it is filtered, before ending up in the bladder. And this process is much slower than we imagine, on average 1 hour 30 minutes to 2 hours. In other words, the glass of water you drink at 10 p.m. is still being processed at midnight. As a result, by the time your body finally enters deep sleep, your bladder is filling up. And 2 hours later, you wake up to urinate. That's why I always recommend to my patients what I call the sacred 2-hour zone. 2 hours before going to bed, 2 hours after waking up, we turn off the tap. No drinks, unless absolutely necessary. And if you're really thirsty, 1 or 2 sips are more than enough. But be careful. This doesn't mean you should drink less during the day. It's actually the opposite. Your hydration should be anticipated, not caught up on at night. The idea is to give your body time to process liquids before sleep, not while you're sleeping. Imagine your renal system as a factory. During the day, it runs at full capacity, managing, eliminating, balancing. But at night, this factory should switch to energy-saving mode. If you still drink a liter of water at 10 p.m., it starts working again when it should be resting, and your sleep pays the price. Another important point, evening herbal teas, often perceived as harmless, can contain diuretic plants without us realizing it. Verbena, camomille ou menthe sont apaisantes. Oui, mais certaines mélanges détox ou amincissants favorisent l'élimination de l'eau. Résultat, votre vessie se remplit encore plus vite. So here is the right strategy. Boire la plupart de votre eau avant 4 heures de l'après-midi. Réduire progressivement après le dîner. Appliquez la zone sans boisson dans les 2 heures précédant le coucher. Si vous prenez des médicaments, essayez si possible de les prendre plus tôt dans la soirée. Et surtout, juste avant d'aller au lit, videz complètement votre vessie. It seems obvious, but many forget this small gesture. And believe me, it makes a huge difference. Remember, your sleep is a time for repair, not for digestion or filtration. Si vous voulez que votre corps se régénère, vous devez lui donner la sérénité intérieure dont il a besoin. Respecter cette fenêtre de 2 heures est l'un des moyens les plus simples et les plus puissants pour réduire la nuit et profiter de nuits pleines et ininterrompues. Erreur numéro 5. Consommer trop de sel. C'est une erreur que presque tout le monde commet sans même s'en rendre compte. Les gens pensent souvent que le problème du sel ne concerne que la tension artérielle. But in reality, salt directly affects your water retention, and therefore the amount of urine your body produces at night. When you consume too much sodium, your body tries to maintain a balance, and to compensate, it retains water in the tissues to dilute this excess. It's a simple biological reflex. The more salt there is in your blood, the more your body retains water to prevent an imbalance. Result: during the day, you experience water retention. Your legs or ankles may swell slightly. You feel heavier, sometimes even bloated, without understanding why. But what many people don't know is that at night, all this accumulated liquid seeks to be eliminated. When you lie down, gravity changes. The liquid moves downward toward the bloodstream, passes through the kidneys, and ends up in the bladder. And there, your body starts producing more urine to get rid of this excess sodium. Result: guaranteed nighttime awakenings. And it's not just a matter of table salt. Sodium hides everywhere. In processed foods, industrial soups, aged cheeses, ready-made sauces, cold cuts, and even in some breads or salted biscuits, you can consume up to twice your recommended daily dose without even touching your salt shaker. The World Health Organization recommends less than 5 grams of salt per day, which is about a teaspoon, but most people consume between 8 and 12 grams, often unknowingly. And the effect is sneaky. The saltier your diet, the more water you retain during the day, and the more your body has to work at night to get rid of it. See the vicious circle? Fortunately, it's very easy to reverse the trend. First tip: taste before salting. Most of the time, foods are already seasoned enough. Second tip: limit processed foods. Cooking yourself, even simply, allows you to control the amount of salt added. Third tip: replace salt with herbs, mild spices, lemon, or garlic. This enhances the flavor without overloading your body, and after just a few days, you'll notice the difference. Less swelling, less excessive thirst, and most importantly, fewer nighttime awakenings. Your body will naturally regain its hydration balance, and your bladder will no longer fill unnecessarily at night. Remember, every small adjustment counts. Reducing salt is not just about protecting your heart, it's also about giving your body deeper, more stable sleep. Because a well-balanced body sleeps better, recovers better, and ages much more peacefully. But be careful. The solution doesn't rely solely on what you drink. It also depends on what you do before sleeping. And that's where a simple yet incredibly effective strategy comes in that few people know about. It allows your body to naturally eliminate excess fluid before bedtime. And with just one action each evening, you can already notice an improvement in your sleep starting this week. Now let's get to the action. How to stop waking up at night. No need for medications or complicated techniques. Just a few simple adjustments to your daily routine. 1. Smart hydration. Buvez de l'eau, oui, mais à l'heure juste. Idéalement, 70 à 80% de votre consommation d'eau devrait avoir lieu avant 4 heures de l'après-midi. This way, your body has time to naturally eliminate the excess before night. Start right after waking up. Drink a large glass of water to rehydrate your body after 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Then, toujours garder une bouteille à portée de main et boire régulièrement en petites gorgées. This steady rhythm keeps your body well hydrated without overload at the end of the day. And this is only the first step. Next, I will show you the most effective evening routine to help your body drain excess fluid before sleeping and thus regain continuous, deep, and restorative sleep. No need to force yourself to drink, but never let thirst set in. After 6 p.m., simply slow down your pace. Drink more slowly, in smaller amounts. And most importantly, in the 2 hours before bed, follow what I call the liquid fasting rule. No drinks, unless it is truly necessary. 1 or 2 sips are more than enough. And just before sleeping, always remember to completely empty your bladder. This simple act prevents a small buildup of urine from waking you up in the middle of the night. Deuxième pilier, gérer le sel et les aliments irritants. Salt attracts water. It's a biological law. The more sodium you consume, the more water your body retains. which it will then need to eliminate, often during the night. So reduce added salt, limit ultra-processed foods, deli meats, very salty cheeses, and industrial soups. And also be cautious with overly spicy dishes. Pepper, chili, hot sauces irritate the bladder lining and increase the urge to urinate. Troisième pilier, posture avant le coucher. C'est là que la science rencontre la simplicité. N'oubliez pas, pendant la journée, les liquides s'accumulent dans vos jambes à cause de la gravité. When you lie down, all this liquid moves back into circulation, passes through the kidneys, and ends up in the bladder. But you can anticipate this process. Every evening, elevate your legs for 20 minutes before going to bed. Lie down on the couch, place 1 or 2 pillows under your calves, or rest your legs on a chair while you read or watch TV. This simple gesture promotes venous return, reduces swelling in the legs, and allows your body to eliminate excess water before sleep. Result: less urine produced during sleep and longer, deeper nights. Quatrième pilier, la constance. Votre corps aime les habitudes. Essayez d'aller vous coucher et de vous réveiller à des heures régulières, même le week-end. Why? Because your biological clock then synchronizes the production of all your hormones, including vasopressin, the famous hormone that reduces urine production at night. With a stable rhythm, your body naturally regains its balance. And the result is quick. Several of my patients have told me that by applying these 4 principes pour juste 10 jours, ils ont déjà remarqué la différence. Fewer nighttime cravings, entire nights without waking up, and above all, a morning energy they hadn't felt in a long time. But beware, there is one last essential point. Nicturia is not just a matter of bladder or hydration. It sometimes reflects a deeper imbalance in your body. In other words, a warning signal that should not be ignored. For example, excess sugar in the blood. Diabetes, especially in its early stages, can manifest as frequent urination urges, even at night. Why? Because excess glucose attracts water to the kidneys, increasing urine production. Another common cause? The heart. When cardiac function weakens, your body accumulates fluid during the day, and at night, lying down, this fluid returns into circulation and stimulates the kidneys. The result: you spend the night urinating. Sometimes, it's an early sign of heart failure. Studies conducted in Australia on over 2,000 people have shown that 1 in 3 individuals suffering from unexplained chronic nocturia actually has a hidden cardiovascular disorder. And then, there are other causes, changements hormonaux, comme la ménopause, hypertrophie de la prostate chez les hommes, ou certains médicaments diurétiques pris trop tard dans la journée. Quand devriez-vous consulter un médecin? Si vous vous réveillez plus de 2 fois par nuit pendant plusieurs semaines, malgré le maintien d'une bonne hygiène, parlez-en à votre médecin because an apparently trivial symptom can hide a more serious imbalance. But remember this, you already have immense power over your sleep. By adjusting your hydration, reducing salt intake, respecting the sacred zone of 2 hours without drinking, and elevating your legs before bed, you send a clear message to your body. It's time to sleep to truly recover. And believe me, deep, continuous, and restorative sleep is not a luxury. It is a true natural therapy. It is the time when your brain eliminates its waste, when your heart slows down to regenerate, and when your immune system quietly strengthens. Every full night you regain is one step closer to a stronger body, a clearer mind, and a longer, more peaceful life. So, if this video helped you better understand what your body is trying to tell you, leave me a comment just below. Tell me how many times you wake up during the night, and especially which strategy you will try first. I read each message personally, because it's thanks to your feedback that I can create content that is always more precise, more useful, and better suited to your needs. And if you want to go further, I invite you to download the Smart Hydration Guide on the Next Age Health website. Here you will discover how to naturally rebalance your water cycle and improve your deep sleep. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Every week, I explain the science of healthy aging with simple, concrete, research-validated tips so that you stay strong, clear-headed, and full of energy at any age. Because aging is not about decline. It's about understanding your body and giving it the right signals. I am Dr. Hillman, and I promise you, if you listen to your body, it will help you live better, longer, and with true quality of life. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you very soon in a new video.